Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV, and it's time for an update, virtual, of course, with Victoria Gold. And John McConnell, the CEO, is here with us. John, good morning to Canada. How are you?
Yes, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are around
Good
the
evening.
world. Great to be here with you, Jokic.
Yeah, thanks, and good to see you in good shape. That is perfect in those fancy times. Q3. Again, record over record. So tell us a bit, what do you like most you have achieved?
Yeah, I think, there's different ways of measuring your financial performance, but, I'm really a miner at heart, and, the gold production is dear to me, and I always figure as long as we're mining the tons and getting them stacked on the pad, everything else will be looked after. But great to see a good quarter. Records in many ways, no matter how you measure it, whether it's earnings per share, free cash flow. Similar, if you look at us, against some of our peers, we did very well. I use Pretium as a comparison all the time. They're another large gold mine in Canada, and our numbers were better than theirs. They of course produce more gold per quarter than us, but our margins are actually better. And as you know, Newcrest just made them a $2.8 billion offer. So that also pleases me to see that and see the high valuation for a single asset gold company.
Yeah, it looks like a bit, that was a question later in the interview, but as you are talking already about it, that looks to me like that this is the choice now of the mid to big size producers really to buy big single producing assets.
Well, I think there are very few assets like, Pretium's Brucejack or, Victoria's Eagle operation, large mines producing significant quantities of gold at all-in sustaining costs of less than $1,000 in a safe jurisdiction. So you can count on one hand the number of opportunities there are for mid-tier and seniors to acquire a producer.
Okay, super. So that leads automatically, before I come to that question, maybe we can shortly talk about some numbers, because that's really important. You paid back $40 million of debt already again. Cash is up, of course. The debt today is now down to $171 million. So it looks to me that you have regained a lot of power in your balance sheet, of course, which might be used for opportunities, I don't know. And on the other hand, you had also a little bit of a change in your shareholder registry. That's also quite interesting to me. So with Orion, Core Mining, stuff like this. Do you want to say something on that?
Well, let's talk about the debt first. You're right. The big focus for us has been reducing the debt. I'm a bit old-fashioned. My father never had debt. He never owned anything he couldn't pay for. But, I understand that, it's all right to carry a little bit of debt on the books, particularly today when interest rates are almost zero. And, our CFO has done a really good job of renegotiating our debt. And I think we're paying something like LIBOR plus 3.5%. So, it's not free, but it's significantly reduced. But, a big focus is on the debt, and that'll continue in 2022. And, depending on gold price, but we use a gold price of $1,700. We essentially pay off the debt in 2022. So that gives us, the other options for free cash flow of, paying a dividend. or doing some share buyback. And, we'll be looking hard at both of those in the first half of 2022.
Wow, that's really interesting, because that would underpin significantly, first of all, shareholder value, but also I could imagine that your stock price will not go down, it will go up. I mean, you are anyhow cheap. You have a PE of 9, what I calculated, so that is really cheap on the production side. Coming to production, I saw in your
You want to talk about the shareholder registry?
Oh, sorry, we forgot that. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think, our shareholder registry has changed significantly over the past 12 months. As I think we talked about at our last interview, Orion sold Coeur 17.8% of what they owned of Victoria, which left them with about 18%. And then more recently, the first week in November, Orion sold another 10% of their holdings in Victoria. We don't know who it went to, but we suspect it's a large US-based precious metals fund that had been doing a lot of due diligence on Victoria. So that brings Orion down below 10%. And then some of the other institutions in Victoria, Van Eck has increased their position. CI has increased their position. A new player in our stock is a fund out of Brazil called Fourth Sail. They've been buying in the market constantly over the past 12 months. So, I think we've gone from, retail investors owning 80% of Victoria to, institutions now owning more than 60% of our shares. So good long-term investments for those institutions.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a very, very stable shareholder base, like that. Okay, then coming to your production, the guidance is 180,000 ounces for this year. You produced so far, if I did my math correct, 115,000. So that leaves you with approximately 65,000 ounces for Q4. What does it look like, Q4? I saw you have stacked a lot of ore on the pad. This is massively up. Also, you have higher grades. So I assume you will make that?
Well, we're still guiding, to 180,000 to 200, but it'll be closer to the 180. The fourth quarter is going reasonably well. We're not having the banner stacking time that we did in the third quarter. October is a transition month for us. It's when you go from warm weather to cold weather, and we get most of our snowfall in October. So it's played a bit of havoc with the operations, but it's still going well, and November's a great month to date. So I expect we'll have a good quarter.
Okay, super. So how is the project 250 now going?
Yeah, so we completed the preliminary engineering. We're doing the detailed engineering now and ordering long lead equipment. And I'm talking about the screening plant we intend to put in. We plan to start construction in May. We should finish the construction up in June and commissioning in July. So, for the full second half of the year, we'll have more capacity through the plant. And then we also intend, in 2022 to reduce the non-stacking period from 12 weeks down to 5 weeks. So that gives us more gold production as well.
Fantastic. Gold production needs also exploration, of course. That means you need to replace produced ounces. So how was the exploration overall for you this year? And for, let's say, a longer mine life on the one hand, gold, silver, and I saw also you are looking for some tungsten.
We're not looking for tungsten. We have a tungsten deposit that's been identified. I started in this business working at a tungsten mine, and it ran during the First World War, the Second World War, and the Vietnam War. So unless you think there's another world war imminent, I don't think we'll be mining tungsten at Dublin Gulch anytime soon. But in terms of exploration, two focuses. One is Eagle Deep. We drilled 10 holes down to 850 meters. The current pit bottom is planned to be 350. We haven't received all the assays back, but look for a resource update late this year or early in 2022. But we think there's the opportunity to extend the mine life another 10 years just at Eagle. In terms of regional exploration, now that we're cash flow positive, we can afford to step out from Eagle and look at all these targets we have. Our main focus is a new discovery we made 3 years ago called Raven. It's at another granodiorite intrusive with very similar characteristics to the granodiorite intrusive that hosts Eagle. We've done, I think we've done probably close to 20,000 meters of drilling over the past 3 years. We now have a strike length on Raven of more than 1 kilometer, a width of more than half a kilometer, and we've drilled it down to 200 meters. Again, we're waiting for assay results for this year's work, but we're encouraged by what we see, that we're now planning a very big program for 2022, where we'll drill more than 60,000 meters.
Wow.
We'll do a PEA, and we'll enter the permitting process in the Yukon. We'd really like to fast track Raven. There is a well understood process in the Yukon, so our goal is to be in construction by 2026 and first gold from Raven in 2028.
Wow, so that would mean that you are then, let's say, a true mine company.
Well, multi-deposits, and I think that supports what we've always said about Dublin Gulch. Is it's a district. It's not sort of a one asset Eagle. There are multiple mines to be found and developed here. We've got Alexco just to the southeast. A company named Banyan Gold, who your listeners are aware of, is got what I consider to be the best new discovery in the Yukon, 30 kilometers to the south of Eagle. So lots of activity in the region, and I think many deposits will be found and developed over the next 100 years in this area.
Fantastic. That is great. Have you had any more, let's call it technical hiccups, like you had when you went into commercial production, and let's say some little things not went the way you wanted to have it, which is fully normal in mining. Absolutely, we know that. But by now, how was so far the year with that? Are you fine?
We don't have any major issues. There's lots of things we still want to change, and some of the things takes time. I don't want to get into the details, but in our primary crusher, we have these what is called concave liners around the body of the crusher, and we think they're wearing out too fast. So the solution is you change the metallurgy of those liners. It may be more chromium or more magnesium, but that takes time because they're only, it's still right now it's taking 6 months before they wear out. So we work very closely with Metso, and the next set of liners will make a slight modification to the metallurgy, and hopefully that gives us 9 months of wear as opposed to 6. All of that helps, it reduces costs. but it takes time, and we've got lots of little things that will continue to improve. But the major wear issues that we had early on, we've solved those problems.
Fantastic. Super. Well, John, thank you very much for the update. Looks like that you are looking again for a nice quarter and fulfill your guidance for this year. And of course, we want to see a great year 2022 with a lot of cash, no more debt, and maybe some dividends already arising. I would love to see that because I'm a shareholder in your company too.
Well, I'm a large shareholder as
Yep.
well, so my interests are very much aligned with all our shareholders.
Super. Perfect. Hey, wish you all the best. Thank you very much. I'm sure we talked before Christmas, but anyhow, Merry Christmas to you and the family. And hope to see you then in 2022 in person latest.
Yes, I look forward to a pint of beer.
Oh, yes, me too, definitely. Thanks, John.
All right. Thanks, Joachim.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thanks,
ladies and
everyone.
gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was John McConnell, the CEO of Victoria Gold. You heard it. Top gold producer. They are doing everything in the right way. Guidance 180,000 ounces for this year shall be reached. Q4 looks so far quite good. Q3 was a pure record quarter for them. And also they have no major hiccups or issues. That is fantastic. Things are going really the way where they wanted. And also with exploration and regional exploration, things look fantastic. What I really like is the attitude against debt, because as you know, I'm a Schwabe. We also don't like debt. That is also for sure. And I think great company, still heavily undervalued. You should have a very close look on Victoria Gold. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.